I think we've all been there. You're scrolling online, maybe after a long day at work, and you see that comment, man, this simulation is boring.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Right. Or you rewatch something like The Matrix and you start thinking, okay, if we're living in some hyper-advanced digital world, why do they program in so much traffic?
And spreadsheets. So many spreadsheets.
Exactly. Why do we feel like an NPC just, stuck in a 9-to-5 loop waiting for the next patch to drop?
It's a really human reaction, It's the ultimate pop culture critique of the whole simulation hypothesis. If our descendants are basically gods, why is this reality so mundane?
Which brings us right back to the foundational argument, Nick Bostrom's trilemma.
Right.
So let's just lay out the ground rules here. Bostrom's idea basically breaks it down into 3 possibilities. 1, civilizations like ours just go extinct before they can run these simulations.
Which is not great.
Not great. 2, they get there, they have the power, but they just choose not to run them for ethical reasons, maybe.
Or 3, they run so many of them that statistically we're almost certainly in one.
And the popular idea just leaps straight to number 3.
It does, and it assumes the motive is like cosmic boredom. They're just playing The Sims, 21st century edition.
But that's where we want to take our deep dive today. We're moving past that idea of a simulation as just a playground.
We are. We're looking at a much darker, but maybe more significant motive. Survival. What if it isn't about fun? What if it's about fear?
And what if we were the most critical piece of data they have ever created?
A data set designed for high-stakes risk management.
Okay, so let's lock in this old view first. It assumes future civilizations are basically living in a utopia.
Right. They've solved death, they have limitless energy, and they're running us just for fun or curiosity.
But if that's true, then our reality makes almost no sense. The sources we looked at really dig into this.
Yeah, why is the resolution so low in terms of excitement? Why is political polarization so frustrating? Why is it all such a grind?
The pop culture critique is spot on. If this is a simulation for entertainment, it feels really low energy, repetitive.
I read one source that put it perfectly. It said it would be closer to a pre-recorded holographic movie than an actual interactive game.
They're not watching what we do moment to moment. They're just fast-forwarding through the boring parts.
Right. Let's skip the commute and get to the next world war. That's the assumption. But our daily lives, that boring data, it just doesn't support the entertainment motive.
But what if those boring parts, that struggle, aren't a bug in the code?
What if they're the most important feature?
Okay, that's the pivot. The whole pop culture idea fails because it misses the motive. The real hypothesis, the shift, is from cosmic boredom to existential fear.
And that brings us to the new hypothesis. The idea that advanced civilizations are, well, they're still struggling. They're grappling with massive threats. Think runaway AI or catastrophic governance failures they just never solved.
No, they're not running us because they solved all their problems.
They're running us because they desperately need a survival manual. And our history is that manual.
A manual built by studying our failures.
Yeah.
And to get why our failures are so important, we have to talk about what they're trying to prevent, which is societal collapse.
Yeah, and for that, we have to look at the work of Joseph Tainter. He really defined the modern framework for collapse.
And it's not what you think. It's not a meteor or a zombie apocalypse.
No, not at all. For Tainter, collapse is a rapid, steep loss of socio-political complexity.
Okay, what does that mean in, simple terms?
Think of all the things that make our society work. Specialized jobs, centralized government, global supply chains, complex laws. Tainter's collapse is when all of that just dissolves fast.
And the really scary part is that the seeds of that collapse are internal. They're baked into the complexity itself.
Exactly. This is his key insight. The law of diminishing returns to complexity.
Okay, break that down.
So a society has a problem, right? Let's say regulating a new market. It adds complexity, new laws, more bureaucracy. And at first, that works great. The benefits are huge.
But over time,
the cost of maintaining that complexity, all the administrators, the energy, the paperwork, it starts to skyrocket. You spend more and more just to keep the old solution running.
So the system you built to solve problems becomes the biggest problem.
Precisely. You're using all your energy just to maintain the operating system. There's nothing left over to solve genuinely new problems. It's like the late Roman Empire.
Always expanding its bureaucracy just to hold on to the territory it already had.
Exactly. At first, that complexity was a strength. But eventually, the cost of the whole system became greater than the benefit. So when a truly new threat shows up, The system is too brittle and too broke to do anything about it.
Which means a super advanced future civilization would be unbelievably vulnerable.
Hugely. That's why they'd still be grappling with what we call global catastrophic risks, or GCRs. Because risk isn't just about the hazard, like an asteroid. Risk is the hazard times your vulnerability to it.
And their incredible complexity is their greatest vulnerability.
It's what some researchers call an ontological vulnerability, a flaw baked into the very nature of large-scale civilization itself.
So they're looking back at us, their ancestors, trying to find the exact moment.
The exact moment we took a wrong turn, the point where we adopted a level of complexity that started a non-linear, unstoppable decline. Our decisions right now are the vulnerability they are desperate to understand.
This just completely inverts the whole thing. We're not being watched for fun, we're being studied for survival.
And that's the core metaphor of this deep dive. We aren't in a video game, we are the cosmic flight recorder. We're the black box.
Wow. Okay, so if a future society is heading for a crash, they're looking at our time period like accident investigators.
Exactly. They are combing through our data right now, looking for the precise sequence of decisions that led to the crash. Our inability to solve collective problems is the critical clue they're searching for.
That's a powerful analogy. But wait, if they already know the crash happens, why run the simulation at all?
Well, they don't know exactly where the tipping point is. They're probably running millions of variations of our timeline, tweaking just one little variable in each one.
Like a scientist running an experiment over and over.
Yes. What if this technology was adopted 5 years earlier? Or what if that political decision went the other way? Our messy, unpredictable lives are the variables they are logging to find out which one breaks the system.
Which makes the bridge stress test analogy so vivid. An engineer builds a perfect digital bridge.
Not to admire the view,
but to run an earthquake simulation on it, to find the exact point where it shatters.
We are the earthquake simulation. Our entire complex civilization is the structure they are stress testing to failure.
And then there's the flight simulator analogy. This really makes the difference clear. We aren't playing Grand Theft Auto, a fun sandbox game.
No, we are the emergency training module.
The terrifyingly realistic one that pilots use to practice.
A pilot doesn't use a simulator to practice a smooth landing on a sunny day. They use it to practice a catastrophic engine failure in a storm. The whole module is designed around vulnerability and resilience, not fun.
So, all the things people complain about, the boring job, the political arguments, the struggle.
That's the data. That's the engine failure.
That is the critical data set they need.
Absolutely. Those economic cycles, our social feedback loops, how we fail to manage resources. Researchers today use those exact same data points to model societal collapse. Our current vulnerabilities are literally the key ingredients in the future's textbook on how not to go extinct.
That is jarring. To think that my commute, my taxes, the daily grind, that's the critical data for an experiment to say the future.
We aren't the background noise. We are the essential failure data. We are the textbook they are desperate to read.
But we have to talk about the counterpoint here. I mean, it's a powerful motive, but is it even physically possible to simulate the entire universe?
That is the critical question. Because if the how is impossible, the why doesn't matter.
So what are the physical limits?
Well, recent research suggests that the universe might be fundamentally non-computable. And this idea leans heavily on, of all things, Gödel's Incompleteness theorem.
Okay, you're gonna have to give us a quick refresher on Gödel.
Right. In a nutshell, Gödel proved that in any complex, formal system, like mathematics, there will always be true statements that you can't actually prove within that system.
It's like a built-in limit to what a logical system can know about itself.
Precisely. And some physicists argue that reality itself, especially at the quantum level, might have this same non-algorithmic quality.
Meaning a computer runs on algorithms, clear, defined steps. But reality might require something more. Something that can't be broken down into ones and zeros.
Exactly. If the laws of physics rely on something non-algorithmic, then no computer, no matter how powerful, could ever fully replicate it. You can simulate a simplified version, but you can't simulate the real thing, including consciousness and true quantum randomness.
So that puts a hard physical ceiling on the whole simulation hypothesis.
It does. It keeps the debate open. And that's the intellectual tension, right? You have this really compelling motive based on existential risk,
right,
but it's balanced by this very strong physical counter-argument.
Whether it's physically possible or not, the takeaway from this deep dive really is transformative. Just shifting your view from cosmic boredom to existential risk management. It changes the meaning of everything.
It really does.
We're not just characters in a game played by bored gods.
Right.
We are a lesson that might actually save the future.
And if we do accept this idea just for a moment that we're a stress test to see where our civilization breaks, it raises a really profound question for you to think about.
Go on.
What specific failure of ours right now managing climate change or global pandemics or nuclear stability, what will the simulators of the future point to as the mistake? The one crucial error we failed to correct that broke their own system.
That is definitely something to think about on your next boring commute. This idea, the simulation hypothesis, tied directly to risk mitigation, it's explored in a lot more depth in the sources we looked at today.
Yeah, you can read the full articles, explore Bostrom's trilemma, and see the research on non-simulable physics over at the Varia1 website.
And if this conversation gave you an existential crisis, but, in a good way, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It really does help the algorithm find more deep thinkers like you.